It started like most things in my life did, with nothing, no real reason, no purpose, just a shift I took because I needed the cash and didn't want to talk to anyone, and this seemed like the kind of job where that was possible. Night guard. One of those corporate buildings that look impressive in the day but are nothing but glass coffins after 6 p.m. I'd sit at a desk. They told me not to leave. Watch a screen that didn't change. Listen for alarms that never came. Just exist. Just be present. The lobby was huge but cold. Echoes too sharp. Floors too clean. The kind of place designed to keep people moving, not one where you'd want to stop and breathe. And yet there I was, every night, 8 hours, 1 chair, 2 elevators, only one ever used. The other just sat there dark and silent, like it had been unplugged from time. And I remember thinking that was strange. Not that they didn't use both, but that the one they did use seemed so eager, as if it wanted to open, like it enjoy. The people came in waves, not many. Late workers, forgetful executives, cleaners, always in a rush, always saying the same thing, just grabbing something. I'll be right back. And I'd nod, every time. Like a ritual, they'd disappear behind the silver doors, and I'd wait for the chime that meant they'd returned. And sometimes it came, but not always. At first I thought nothing of it. Maybe they'd found another exit. Maybe they stayed upstairs. Maybe they just left without me seeing. But then it happened again, and again, and there was a pattern. They always said the same thing, always looked calm, always stepped in like it meant nothing, and then gone. Not just in time, but in presence, like the elevator absorbed them, and the footage. I checked it one night. Something in me couldn't stop thinking about the girl with the green bag, the way she smiled, the way she said it. So I watched her on the monitor, stepping in, turning, the doors closing, and then static. Gee. The same thing happened with the man who wore the blue lanyard every day, and the delivery guy, and the woman who always had headphones in. They all stepped in, and then they weren't anywhere. And when I rewound the footage again and again, all I saw was that flicker, like something had skipped, or like the building itself had looked away. I started watching the elevator more closely after that, not the screens. The real thing, the one right in front of me, and I noticed it would open on its own sometimes. No one pressing the button, just the ding. And then the doors would slide apart, and there'd be no one there. Nothing. Just the hollow box inside and a faint humming, like it was breathing, like it was waiting. Sometimes it stayed open longer than it should, just wide and still. And I'd sit and watch, not blinking, not moving. Because I felt like if I looked away, it would change. That if I wasn't careful, something would step out, something I wasn't meant to see. And every time it finally closed again, I felt relief that felt too big, like I'd just survived something I hadn't even seen. And I never went inside, not once. Not after the first week, not even when I had to bring reports upstairs or check something on the upper floors. I always took the stairs. I told myself it was good exercise, but the truth is, I was afraid. Not of the elevator itself, but of how it made me feel, like it knew me, like it wanted something from me. One night, the elevator opened again and stayed open, and something in me snapped. Not loud, not like a scream, more like a click. And I stood up and walked away. Past the desk, down the hallway, to the emergency stairwell. I climbed every floor slowly, feeling the weight in my legs and in my chest. The further up I went, the more the air changed, got heavier, damper. Like walking into a cave at the top, there was a locked door marked mechanical access. But it wasn't locked, not that night. And inside it smelled wrong, like warm meat, like breath. And there was this panel, gray and humming, and I opened it without knowing why, without thinking, and inside wasn't wires, wasn't metal. It was red and wet and moving, veins wrapped around the frame, tissue pulsing like a throat, and at the center, a heart, real, beating, slow and broken and uneven. I didn't scream, I didn't panic. I grabbed the fire extinguisher from the wall and I hit it, again and again and again, not because I thought it would die, but because I couldn't let it exist, because nothing in a building should beat like that. And when I stopped, I realized it was quiet, not just in the room, but in my body, like something had been ringing in me and now it was gone. I left the extinguisher there and walked back down, my hands shaking, not from fear, but from something else. Like whatever had been inside that panel had touched something in me, and now it was loose. I didn't go all the way down. I stopped on the 12th floor because I heard it. That ding, soft, too soft, like a whisper pressed into glass. I opened the door to the hallway, and the elevator was open again. Doors wide, lights on. But the car wasn't there. Just the shaft, just the dark. And I stepped closer, slow, one foot in front of the other, and I looked down, all the way down. They were there, all of them, the ones who said they'd be right back, the ones who smiled, who waved, who joked. They were at the bottom, crumpled, twisted, staring up, eyes open, mouths too, not screaming, just open, like they were still trying to speak, and I knew I wasn't supposed to see them, not really. I wasn't supposed to look, and the elevator wasn't supposed to wait this long. The doors hadn't closed. They were still open, wide, still. I turned and walked back to the stairwell. Didn't run, didn't speak, just walked. All the way down, through the lobby, past the desk, out the front doors. And I never went back, but sometimes when I pass by the building, I swear I can hear it. That ding, soft and wrong. Like a hand tapping on the back of your mind, and sometimes, late at night, I dream about the shaft, about the way it looked when I stared down into it, about the way they looked up at me, like they were waiting for me to join them, and I think maybe the elevator still opens, still waits, still wants, but I don't look, I never look, I just keep walking, and I don't think I was ever meant to leave.